Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. Fight fans worldwide, you've tuned into the #1 undisputed boxing podcast today. This is the Boxing Breakdown. Now, your heavy-handed, hard-hitting host, Mark Roxy.
What's up, and welcome to another edition of the Boxing Breakdown. I am your host, Mr. Mark Roxy, and I am here with my partner in crime, Mr. Harold Hunt. What's up, Harold?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. I am good. I am so good. It's a Friday night. The party's jumping here on the Boxing Breakdown, and I'm with you, bro. So what? I mean, how much better does it get? And you know, what I'm really excited about is the fact that tonight we are going to have a complete 30-minute episode here of Shakur Stevenson, Mr. Shakur Stevenson, Newark, New Jersey's own, who's 19-0 with 9 big wins coming by way of KO. Absolutely amazing boxer. He's an American professional boxer. He is a world champion in 2 weight classes. He's held the WBO junior lightweight title since 2021, I think October of 2021. He's the WBC junior lightweight title holder, and he's had that since April 2022. And he's the WBO featherweight title. He held that from 2019 to 2020. And we got a lot of news on this guy. I know him because he comes out of the New Jersey LBC represent. That's where we are from, the great state of New Jersey. And yes, he's a native of Newark, New Jersey. He is beloved by many. And yeah, man, he's quite an interesting boxer. And if you don't know, if you're tuning in on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, thanks for being with us. And yes, you may not know this guy if you don't follow boxing. If you follow boxing, you know who this 130-pound, solid framed, 5'8" boxer is. You know who he is, right? The good news is that we've got a lot of news on him. So, Harold, let's talk about Mr. Shakur Stevenson. Tell me what you got.
Shakur Stevenson is my favorite fighter right now. And those who have watched him, have seen him, his upside is just pretty great as far as he was not aggressive initially, but now he is. So since he's so aggressive, all the skill set that he has attacking and not being hit at the same time is coming forth. So we're looking at, as he said out of his own mouth, I'm the next Leonard, I'm the next Floyd, Sugar Ray Robinson, all of them. He said it out of his mouth, but I tend to agree at this point.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. He's getting listed on the pound for pound for a lot of folks. A lot of people are starting to shout him out as being one of the pound for pound best boxers. What are your thoughts about that, Harold?
Well, if he continues to develop that mindset and he gets more confident and his skills just sharpen up, right, he'll be able to attain all of that. I don't see any of those other guys really challenging him. And there's a lot of them up there at 135.
Well, let's talk about that. So he had his recent fight. He just fought, and there was a lot of hubbubaloo around this fight because he fought a gentleman by the name of Robson Conseco, right? It was at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. And it was basically for the WBC Walter Super Featherweight belt, right? And the WBC Super Featherweight belt as well. WBC, WBO, excuse me. And he came in a little shy of his weight. He didn't make weight. Do you know about that?
Yes, yes. He had a hard time with his fight previous making that 130, but this time it was just too tough for him to make it. He came in at 1 pound or something over. They gave him a few hours to get it off. He decided he just could not do it. He had been trying all day. He got up in the morning and he tried all day to lose. Well, I think it was like 2 pounds
Right.
all day. Then the weigh-in came that evening. He was still short, so he had to go out and try to do it again. He said just having fluids in his body to lose. He just could not lose it. Ironically, his opponent was 2.5 pounds over.
Yeah.
But he went and sat in a salt bath for 2 hours and he dropped 2.5 pounds.
So he got it off.
So he's saying, I did this. How come you couldn't do that? But Shakur knows his body. He simply didn't have anything to melt off, no liquid in his body. So he couldn't make the weight. So
Wait a minute. Let's back up for a second. So we know as trainers, well, I know as a trainer, like the idea here is that you make weight, right? You sign a contract for a specific weight and you make the weight, right?
True. Continue.
Okay, so he didn't make the weight. I mean, he didn't make the weight. And whatever the excuse is for not making the weight, you got to make the weight. If you fight at that weight class, you got to make that weight because that's just what's so, right? That's what the contract calls for. So the interesting thing about this is that he didn't make the 130-pound weight, right? And then he comes out and says he's going to move up to 135. Now, is that an afterthought or him moving up to 135? Was that premeditated? Let's talk about that.
He did state that before this fight months ago that he was going to 135 and for all them boys to watch out. He thought he was going to make this one. Yes, you're right. The letter of the law, you sign the contract, you must make that weight. There's no excuses, none of that. So he did have to drop some paper, some money because of this. The numbers are his opponent got $50,000 and the commission got $40,000. So his purse was $2 million and he dropped 90.
Right. Wow. That's unbelievable. I mean, that to me, that's quite shocking. I mean, I don't understand. I'm not pointing fingers here, but what I'm saying is like the guy, Shakur Stevenson takes a fight at 130 pounds. He doesn't make the weight at 130 pounds, right? His opponent stretches himself to make the weight, comes in at weight. He came over too. He comes in at weight. Shakur doesn't even try to make the weight because he just knows he can't make the weight. He vacates the two belts. He's stripped of the two belts. WBO and the WBC belts are stripped. Am I correct in that?
Yes, he is without those.
Yeah, so he gets stripped of the belts. He fights, he wins, and he moves up. So he had to relinquish those belts anyway, didn't he?
Yes, they were gone. Only good part about it is he did. He's trying to not save face. He made an error, but he doesn't have to pay them sanctioning fees for them two belts on his next fight because they was taking a lot of their fee from him every time he fought.
Right.
So he'll be moving up. We get a little better pay scale. Won't have any sanctioning bodies in his pocket. And he can kind of choose who he wants to go with.
Right. I just find it to be very interesting. I wonder if that was, I'm not gonna beat this thing into the ground here with the weight, but I just want to know what your thought is. I want you to tell me whether you think this like not making weight thing was premeditated or you think he literally just couldn't make the weight. He was trying to make the weight and he didn't make the weight. He knew he was going to really, I don't know. I'm just, what is your opinion on that? You think he actually premeditated all that?
I believe he couldn't make the weight. He had started that morning to lose the weight, running, jumping, everything he could do. He did everything all day long to try to drop those pounds.
Yeah. Well,
And at the
Shakur,
end, he said he just couldn't do it. Now I don't know, but what I understand, my limited with the physical part of the fighters, I accept what he says.
right. I got that. Yeah, he's your favorite fighter.
No, because Roy Jones hurt himself, and
Right.
I've seen other fighters hurt themselves, and he didn't hurt himself. So I gotta agree with that. Yes, it looks bad. Yes, he's a bad guy. However,
Well,
but
I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm kind of, I mean, I'm looking at it as a trainer, right? So
he's
I'm
embarrassed too now. I will say that. He's embarrassed too, quite a bit.
really
Yes, he's very chagrined. He was doing a talk show. He said, "I can't even talk no stuff because I didn't live to my contract. So I'm
I
very
see.
humble right here."
Okay, so you're thinking this is all like it just happened. He can't make the weight any longer, kind of like a Teofimo thing. This is what happened to Teofimo. Teofimo's Teofimo Lopez was trying to fit himself into the 135-pound weight division, and he's stuffing himself down in there. He couldn't make the weight anymore. It was killing his body. He was killing himself to try to make that weight. Very uncomfortable situation. Affected him in every area, and then he goes up to the 140, right? Which is similar to what's happening here, only one weight class below. So now
But you
Shakur,
have consideration for Lopez,
no,
and
I
you don't have
don't.
any
I
consideration for
no,
our boy Shakur right here
no,
because
I
your deliverance of that same
okay.
situation with him was different.
Okay, well,
That's your favorite fighter.
well,
Now,
all right. So, okay, Harold. So he's not my favorite fighter, although he is a favorite person. I do like Teofimo very much, and
I heard bias.
I'm not.
I
No,
heard bias.
no, he's no. I'm not being biased here. I mean, I like both of the boys. I like both of these men. Both of these fighters are among my favorite fighters. And just so you know, full disclosure, like I know Shakur. I've known his work. I've watched him come up through the New Jersey LBC. So I've had the privilege of watching him fight many, many times, seeing him in almost every public arena in the state of New Jersey. So I'm not like, I'm just, my job is to ask the questions. Okay. Your job is to defend your favorite fighter.
Oh, there you go. Okay, okay. All right. He put me back at the plate again. I tried to go in the outfield, put me
Right.
back at the plate. Okay. All right.
No,
So
like, and Teofimo, look, Teofimo's situation, I know firsthand that Teofimo had problems with that weight from the very beginning. They've been talking about that for 3 years. So I get that. And Shakur is definitely grown up into his man strength, and he's getting himself into a position where, he's trying to get the big money fights. He's not, he wants life-changing money. He's moving himself. He's worked hard enough. He's been fighting long enough. And now he's starting to slide himself into pole position where he can get the big money fights. He can get the life-changing money fights. That's what he wants. So in order to get that, he's got to be at the 135 pound. Because guess who's at the 135 pound? Let's talk about who's there. Let's get off of
everybody.
the weight issues here. Let's talk about, okay, let's
Who's
talk
there?
about who he has as potential fight options. Let's go. Run it, Harold.
Well, number one, we have Haney, the undisputed one with the least fanfare behind him, but he has all the belts, no doubt.
Right.
Then you got Tank. Okay, now Tank is a WBA regular champion. He's second tier to Haney, who's also the franchise. He's got 4 belts: franchise,
Yeah.
WBC, regular
Mhm.
WBC,
Mhm.
BO, and IBF. Anyway, then you've got Ryan Garcia, who has he's still yet to be tested.
Right.
So those are the 3 big boys that he has opportunity to fight. So providing he fights a couple, top 20 135 pounders and kind of dominate them, he may have an opportunity to fight them in about a year or so. I wouldn't fight them now.
Right.
Let them hash themselves out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got the pick of the litter there. I'm just not sure if he goes to 135. I mean, is he still pound for pound in the 135? Like, are you still gonna have him as your pound for pound? Because
Yes, his skills are sublime. He can overcome a whole lot of offensive styles and be aggressive at the same time. He's got the whole package. I mean, I don't see him being beaten by those other guys, the ones we
okay,
just mentioned. I don't
wait
see
a
that.
minute. Wait a minute. You don't see. Let's talk about the other guys. Okay. I'm sure if you're listening in and you want to get in the conversation, certainly drop a comment down in the YouTube box down there. We love your comments and we will definitely put them on the air. Yeah. And by the way, if you're tuning in on YouTube, thank you for being with us. Help us grow. YouTube is the hardest platform to grow. YouTube. Y'all better help us out here because YouTube is the hardest platform to grow. But I will tell you that we are dedicated and committed to growing it. And so please hit the like and the subscribe button down below. Hit it, okay? Hit it, and let us know that you like the program by hitting it, making sure you're getting the subscription so you know when we're coming on the air, and then you can join us and be in the chat, be in the conversation. So anyway, enough of that. Here's the thing. You've got people in the 135-pound weight division that are serious fighters. Okay, you got Isaac Cruz in there, right? You got Vasily Lomachenko in there. George Kambosos in there. All right, Joseph Diaz is in there. I mean, there's some good guys. Jan Mendy is in there. Right?
Yes.
I mean, you got Mitchell Rivera is in there, right? There are good fighters in there. And, William Zepeda is there, right? I don't know. I mean, just thinking, Rolly Ramiro, I think I might have said that guy's name. Ryan Garcia is in the 135 too.
Yeah. I mentioned him.
I don't know if you noticed, he's kind of like he's dropping in some of the rankings, but whatever, he's dropping. He's definitely dropping in the rankings. And, you be on notice, Ryan Garcia. You are dropping in the rankings. I'm watching you drop every week. So you better get to the fighting. Better get to fighting some of these big boys to get that money. What you got to say, Harold? I can see you.
No. I'm just you're right about Ryan. You're right about Ryan. So the people you just named off, the lower tier 135ers who have somewhat of a name or whatever,
right?
That's the round robin of group he needs to fight now.
Yeah.
And then he'll fight those other guys, the top three, a year or 2 years from now. Let them sort themselves out. Meanwhile, he's got plenty of opposition, lower at the lower level there. That's reputable, can sell tickets and all
right.
that, and he can really test himself. But I see him walking through those guys too.
Right. Well, let's see, because Harold, the interesting thing is when sometimes guys think when they go up in weight class that they're going to feel comfortable there, that everything's going to work out for them there. But remember this. I remember Shakur Stevenson fighting at the 125-pound weight class, okay, in the amateurs. He's even fought lower. Okay, so he's even fought lower than 125 pounds. But in the amateurs, he was fighting at 125 pounds. So now he's, up to 135. Okay, and stepping up into the 135-pound weight division. I don't know. I mean, maybe he'll be fine. Maybe, time will tell how he does in this division.
Well, how heavy do you think he'll be when he comes in after rehydration the next day? 47, 50, 55?
No, I don't think he'll go up that high.
50.
I think it's reasonable to expect a fighter, typically fighters don't like to go more than 10 to 15 pounds in their weight. If it's a title fight, there is an upward weight limit that they cannot go past. So, a lot of these contests you have to, you have to weigh in at the weight, but then you can't gain, more than like 10 pounds for fight day. So there is a upward weight that a lot of these contracts have. I'm not sure if that's the case, if they do that all the time, but it should for
certain
for a
states
champion.
do, commissions
Yeah,
do, but
that's
certain
right.
other commissions in certain
Now,
states they don't do that.
yeah, Nevada does that. Nevada does that. And so
California and two other ones, New Jersey and somebody else does it too.
yeah,
But
New
other
Jersey,
ones don't.
PA, Pennsylvania
Other
does
ones
it
don't.
too. Yeah,
But yeah, okay. But he'll come in at 150. Are you comfortable with that? I think that's healthy for him.
yeah. I mean, but where does Vasily Lomachenko come in?
Maybe what, 41, 42?
Okay, so I mean, that makes him slower? I mean, against a Lomachenko who has hand speed, that's one of his biggest gifts is hand speed and footwork. I mean, how do you think that?
No, we're talking about. I'm talking about Shakur, correct?
Yeah, I'm saying
Yeah,
that, like, if he were to,
Lomachenko can't beat him.
okay, interesting. That's an interesting thought.
See, Shakur can go the distance and win. He doesn't. He's not going. It's not about knocking you out. It's about punishing you respectfully with the defense and the offense at the same time. So he'll take these guys to the distance, but he'll beat them. He'll beat them.
You're bringing up a really good point about Shakur. Most of Shakur's fights have been won, right, by unanimous decisions going the distance. Not all of them. I mean, he's got a couple of TKOs early on in his career. Most of his TKOs were earlier on in the career, but he goes the distance in most of his fights, and
he'll beat you up. He'll beat you up.
And
now,
yeah, absolutely. And all those TKOs that he has, those TKOs usually happen within the first 5 rounds. Like every single
that's early in the career. Yeah, you can catch him early. You got a lower opposition. Now he's got better opposition, man, and he's just looking really good, man. He beats them up to the point where they wish they were knocked out because he's really hurt them the past 5-6 rounds that he gets them. He really hurts them. I mean, he takes it away from them and he punishes them. And this has been his demeanor lately, and I'm impressed with it.
Yeah, Harold, Shakur Stevenson only has 2, I believe it's 2 knockouts that took place, or TKOs or KOs that have taken place after the 5th round. There's only 2 of them. One was against Felix Caballo that was in the bubble in the MGM Grand. He stopped him in the 6th round. Okay, and then the other one was at the State Farm Arena when he fought Jamal Herring. And I can tell you, like, when he fought Jamal Herring, that might have been, for me, his biggest win, and the one where he was most ferocious, really touching Jamal Herring up. He was touching him up pretty darn good in that fight, and he was able to get a stoppage in the 10th round of that fight.
See, that would trainers say, touch him up. Yeah,
he was touching him up pretty good, man. And I mean, he had his hands all over Jamal Herring. Like that was a serious fight for Shakur. And but my point is that he's going to go the distance in most of his fights. And as he steps up in competition and he steps up in weight, how does that affect him? What do you think?
I can tell you what I think about that.
Yeah.
Okay, he's got the hand speed. Hand speed can get you out of a jam in that if he's hitting them so cleanly, the ref will jump in. Now that can easily happen to a man who could possibly overpower him, who's maybe stronger or whatever you want to say. Because he had the hand speed and he can place his shot so quickly, he can run off 5, 6, 7 punches in sequence, and the ref will jump in and stop it.
Right.
If he doesn't do that, the other guy's not really going to hit him. He's got good defensive skills, and he's aggressive at the same time. So my outlook on it is different from yours. Definitely. Well, I think the weight gain is not going to be a problem. I think the step up to the class won't be a problem because, he's just not filling out now. So, I just think he's got the skill set and he's got the body type to really, his reach is 68. That's Floyd had a very long reach of a 7 foot of a 6 foot 5 man. Floyd.
Right. Oh yeah, he had a long reach for his size. For
If
sure.
you as does Stevenson, and that protects you from the bigger guys, keeps them on the outside. That's how I see it. Mark, what's your
Right.
thoughts?
No, I mean, I again, like I'm always cautious about a fighter going up in weight. I don't care who the fighter is. There are real consequences for taking yourself up in weight. Okay. And so what you're used to doing, like I guess, okay, so here's my hypothesis. Shakur Stevenson has been fighting at 130 pounds. He's big for that weight. Okay. He's big for that weight. And he's doing great filling out and really taking charge of his opponents, right? He looks good in every fight. He controls the distance. He knows how to make the fight work. I guess what I'm wondering, Harold, is how does that translate at 135 when the punchers are a little bit bigger, a little bit, they're a little stronger. The punch feels different at a 35. And as you mentioned, you're talking about a 150 pound, 155. I don't know how Shakur does against, let's say, an Isaac Cruz. How do you think he does against an Isaac Cruz?
His punch resistance goes up also.
Right. Okay. Isaac Cruz. How does he do against Isaac Cruz? I mean, what? Because Isaac Cruz
I don't think Cruz will be able to hit him clean as he would like, because defensively he's so responsible. Responsible.
Well, I could see that.
Inherently, he's going to be getting out of the way of a guy coming in. And the moment Cruz gets the idea that that he has to go on the back foot, that's going to be an issue. And as he's attacking him and Cruz is throwing his good work as it is, it may miss. Right. And that's what he has over a lot of the fighters who will fight Cruz in the future.
Right. All right. So let's get to where the action really is. Because what's going to happen is, we can theorize about this stuff all day long. But at the end of the day, right, Shakur's going to have to step up and wait. He's going to have to do his work. Right now, you talked about, before we got on the podcast here, you did talk a little bit about Shakur and his man strength. So touch on that. Tell the listeners what you were talking about when you say man strength.
Well, as you all know, your frontal lobe of your brain does not develop into an adult until you're 25, 26 years old. Period. That's it. That's why teenagers are so different at that age.
Different.
But
I like that.
he absolutely was a kid when he first came in. But now you see how he's filling out, and he's become aggressive. So just because his body is filled out to a man, he's going to have a different kind of strength. Like in football, you've got rookie strength, and then when you get old and you're an old fighter, old football player, you have old man strength. It only lasts about maybe one season, but it's phenomenal. Okay, you have different strengths, and now he's getting to his grown man strength. A prime for a fighter is up to 32 years old. So he's in great shape and he doesn't get hit. So I don't think it's going to be a problem at all. He's got some motivation, got a kid, got the fiance, and as Mark says, he wants to get to that life-changing situation. So in order to do that, he has to go through these guys, and I think he has it to do that. I absolutely think he does.
Yeah. Well, no, and he also has a phenomenal team around him. And I will specifically comment on Wally, his grandfather, who's absolutely incredible and a major influence in his boxing, in his training, in his development, in his advisory. Like his Wally has done an amazing job with Shakur's career, along with everybody else that's involved in Shakur's career. But I particularly, I'm very fond of Wally. I know him very well, and he's just an amazing guy. Really, really does a lot for the kids. Has an amazing gym in Newark, and always representing the LBC number 7. Shout out New Jersey boxing, USA boxing, and which is where Shakur came from.
Yep,
And
yep.
yeah, man.
They
So
taught him everything. They didn't miss nothing. The defensive side, the whole spectrum. The offensive side, the whole spectrum. He's just being aggressive now. He's taking that and he's moving forward with it.
yeah, I also think that you haven't seen the best of Shakur.
No.
Thing about Shakur is that he's still developing. Believe me when I tell you, he's still developing. And, I mean, there's a lot more of Shakur you're going to see. This is only a fighter, he's only got 19 fights. I mean, he's really relatively newcomer to, they're moving him nice and slow. He's signed, of course, by Top Rank Incorporated, and Bob Arum and their team are moving him very, very meticulously. And, they're doing a great job. He is from Newark, by the way. I just wanted to mention he's from Newark, but he also lives in Alexandria, Virginia as well. I don't know if you know that, but they moved him out of Newark because, of course, they were concerned about, what might happen, the dangerous, nature of just living in Newark. And so he does have this dual residence kind of situation, but he's
in Alexandria.
Mm-hmm. They just had a big event in Newark to celebrate Shakur. It was a fabulous event. All the old heads came out, and everybody, people from the LBC and the mayor and, Barack from Newark, everybody came out and really support him tremendously. And that fight, man, when he came out in the Prudential Center in Newark, man, those people stood up. They represented, man. It was like, you could hear it, It was quite amazing.
It was great. It was great. They said that was the second largest sellout or the largest sellout in the history of that building, correct?
Yeah, he's becoming a big star. I think he's fought there. I'm trying to think of how many times I've seen him there and that he's fought at the Prudential. I think it might be, I don't know.
Something about the largest gate at that facility. At that facility, second or something like that.
I think he's only fought there twice, maybe twice. I think it's gonna be twice, right? But he's a big star.
They had all the lights too. They brought the A lights.
Oh yeah, they brought the A team for that fight. They're trying to really build him up. Yeah, and he's got a big following in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut. Delaware, Washington, like people know him on the East Coast, man. They love Shakur, and he's a really good guy. I mean, he's a really nice person. He's not. You can see him if you look at any of his interviews, you'll see he's just a real down to earth, gentle kind of soul when he's being interviewed and stuff. Unless you get in the ring with him, in the ring he's snapping your head off. He's gonna put those hands on you.
Yeah, he has to be sure that his application to the sport is better than yours, and the way he goes about that is very, very clean and well rounded.
Right. Do we know when Shakur's back in the ring next time? Do we know that?
No, we just finished this. The scuttlebutt from this is still selling around. Now politically, you gotta look at Bob Arum and everybody over there. He need to fight his PBC, so you gotta deal with that. That's why I'm saying the lower echelon of people that you cruises and all those, that's going to be good fodder for him for the next year and a half, right there. Right.
No, I agree.
He can make 3, 4, 5 of there million.
Oh yeah, he's gonna do very, very well. I mean, he's going to do very, very well in the sport of boxing as long as they continue to move him the way he is. And I don't think there's going to be a problem with that. And, Shakur is going to be one of Top Rank's, top 10 sellers. He's going to
have to be because Bob Arum understands that this is the only one he got right now. Yeah. Who else is on Top Rank that is of that note that can be on top for the next 15 years?
Well, I mean that's debatable. I mean you'd have to ask Bob Arum that, and I'm sure I'm sure if you said that to Bob Arum, he'd ramble off 20 guys that he's got in his stable that are like going to be the next Manny Pacquiao. Doubtful, but you know what I mean. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
You know,
But from what we see right here now, I think he's one of his best opportunities to, really do well for his company.
Top Rank Incorporated really does know how to make stars. That's their business. Their business is to make boxing stars. They know how to do that. The folks at Top Rank know how to do that. Same with PBC. These guys know this is their business. Their business is to take fighters and turn them into superstars, right? That's what they do. And they do it well. And you can see if you follow Shakur Stevenson's career, you will see that occur right here with him because he's got the goods, as you said. He's got the skill sets. And again, don't get me wrong. I'm not doubting his skill sets. I'm asking the question that nobody wants to ask because everyone wants to talk about Shakur pound for pound. Shakur's the best. He's amazing. He's awesome. He's the future of the division. I get that. But we got to ask these questions. Like, how's he going to fare against a Vasily Lomachenko?
I think he beats him. I think he beats him. But think about this. How many people have moved up?
How? How does he beat him?
And been successful? How's he beat him? Okay.
Tell me.
Lomachenko had a similar situation with Lopez. Lopez is somewhat similar to Shakur. He's not as responsible. He's aggressive, and he's well-roundedly aggressive, but he's not. He doesn't clean up as well as Shakur coming in. Lomachenko had to deal with that. He was successful. He was unsuccessful for a long time until he figured out that he could actually walk to it, and it was too late. Okay, now we're talking about a bigger man who has the same skill set, who is not going to fade and is not going to be hit like that. So when Lomachenko tries to come on with his work, he's going to be held on the outside. It's not going to be as easy to touch him, even with the angles. He's going to have an issue with him. He's going to lose on points.
Huh. Interesting. If you are tuning into the Boxing Breakdown and you have something you'd like to contribute to this conversation, please do so in the comments on YouTube.
I'm not being biased either.
Thank you for watching YouTube. Hit the like and subscribe button. And don't forget, if you're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, do not forget to give us a review. And you tell me how Shakur beats Vasily Lomachenko, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, or Gervonta Davis. I need to know how Shakur does it. I know you can say, oh, he's better. It's like saying Spider-Man is better than Batman. I get it. Or like Batman is better than Superman. like, okay, Superman, kryptonite, Batman, I don't know, the Joker, whatever it is. But here's the deal. Like, I need you to be specific. I need you to tell me how Shakur beats these folks. Tell me
who's next. I'll tell you who's next.
Okay,
give me something.
Haney. How's he beat Haney?
Okay, how's he beat Haney? Just looking at their styles, just looking at them closely, just putting them together in my mind's eye. Haney could win on points if he doesn't get hurt. Shakur's not going to get hurt, but Haney may get hurt.
Really? I mean, I don't agree with that. I think if anybody's got a chin, right, that has a proven chin, okay. Well, I mean, actually, they both have proven chins. To be honest, they both have chins. But I'm gonna go and I'm gonna say that Haney has been touched up enough to know how to deal with that. I don't know, Harold. I'm not.
And he's a good defensive fighter too. He is. He truly is. I've judged him, but I just think that Shakur has more innate defensive movement that's going to preclude him from getting hit by some stuff that just may hit Haney.
Yo, that's going to be a great fight. If they could ever, oh my gosh, if they could ever make that fight, I'm just looking, I was just fantasizing just now about that fight while you were talking, right? Sorry.
And all that's possible.
But yeah, man, I would really love to see that fight, Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. If they could make that fight, that would be a really classic fight. I'm not saying it's like a Hearns and Hagler, right? I'm not saying it's quite that violent, but
Leonard Benitez.
Yeah, I think it would be more tactical. It would be more tactical version of but I think it would be on the scale of a Hearns and Hagler, meaning a lot of people would want to see that fight. A lot, because Devin Haney is from Maryland, right? And Shakur is from Jersey. Do you understand the magnitude of just the door sales? Just the door sales of that fight would be pretty phenomenal. The actual gate, right, could be life-changing money for you, me, and our entire neighborhoods.
See, you shifted to the financial end. I thought we were talking about styles in the ring, but yes, your point on the outside, but that's a beautiful thing, as you said. But it wouldn't be a Hagler Hearns because them guys didn't have any boxing acumen like that, but they meshed well together. It'd be more like, to me, a Benitez Leonard, where it was tactical, and then at the end, the one who was the most aggressive won the fight.
Right. Or
being
Aguero
Haney,
and Pryor.
being Benitez, and Shakur being Leonard.
Wow, you even cast them. You even cast them on the right side. Wow, that's interesting. So yeah, I mean,
that's for the old heads.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I'm asking some serious questions tonight about Shakur Stevenson here, right about the 45-minute mark. We were gonna go 30, and we went 45. So Harold, check it out. Check it out. Let's see here. I'd like to give you guys the upcoming boxing events that are going to be happening in the next couple of months. So let's hit it. We got Ben versus Bean versus Eubank on the Zone pay-per-view October 8th. We got Fundura versus
grudge match.
Ocampo Showtime October 8th at 10 p.m. We got Shields and Marshall on ESPN Sky Sports
on the 15th.
On October 15th, we got Wilder versus Helenius on
October 15th.
Yeah, October 15th, Fight TV, Fox Sports. We got Haney versus Cambosos, Harold.
October 15th.
Yes. Yo, man, that's a lot. That's a lot.
4 and Shields. That's 4.
Darn it. That's too much. And then we got Katie Taylor versus Caballero on the Zone on October 29th. We got Fury versus Hunter on Sky Sports October 29th.
Tyson Fury's brother.
Yo, man, these guys are rocking. We got Jojo Diaz versus Zapata on the Zone October 29th at 9 p.m. Lomachenko versus Ortiz on Fight TV, ESPN Plus, October 29th. And we got Bivol against Ramirez. We've been talking about that fight, and as we get closer, we will hit it. That's on the Zone on November 5th at 2 p.m. And let's see, man. We got Love versus Spark on the Zone November 12th at 9 p.m. And I just want to shout out the champ, Mr. Christian Tapia, signed by Matchroom Boxing and the Zone, as well as Hard Hitting Promotions. He will be fighting on that card. It's going to be an amazing fight. And we'll be announcing that and talking a little bit about our boy there. And then, we're going to close out December 10th with Warrington versus Lopez on the Zone at 2 p.m. And then, Harold, let us not forget to make a special mention of the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame
Please do.
at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City on October 7th through October 9th. Get your tickets at AtlanticCityBoxingHallOfFame.com. It's the acronym for that, right? Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, right? Just the letters. .com. Get your tickets. We'll be there. Harold will be there covering the event, posting up and shouting out a bunch of interviews with all the different celebrities, from James Toney to Chavez to everybody who's going to be in the building. It's going to be an action-packed weekend. Harold, I know you're going to get a lot of footage. I'm going to be working that show, so we're going to be doing tag team there while we're there. And I just hope you guys will come out and be with us, hang out with us at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. Shout out. And until next time, I'm Mark Roxy.
And I am Harold Hunt.
Yes, you are. And we
are out.
Check you guys out on the next edition of the Boxing Breakdown.